Hi guys, so I'm back and I feel like it's been a while. It's only been a day because it's Saturday and yesterday was Friday. I didn't do a reading on Friday. I don't always post, obviously, the reading on the same day. And I wanted to say, actually, the reason, obviously, it's like I had other things to do, but I have a bit of a, I was having a cough. So I decided to stop, take a little break. Okay. I feel like it's probably something allergic. And that's that. Now I wanted to show you. I was going to show you, but I've been taking a lot of. I take notes, okay, with the questions I have, and I'm going to do something I haven't done, I think, which is that I feel like I have a lot of sort of accumulated questions that are not about one person, just a question. So I'm going to just pick a few cards and then close my eyes right away, okay? Because I don't have a lot of time right now, and it's okay, right? But I have a lot of questions that are interconnected. So the first part of the questions I have has to do with the Russian interference, right? Because as you've seen, there's so much news now. It's like about how the senators will go over there, and it's obvious, this whole thing, more and more obvious. So the question is really on Russian interference. The first question is, will the 2000 elections be free of Russian interference? And then there's a question, how could we prevent it, okay, for the 2018 election? And then I have this question about the Russian network. Will we be able to will Mueller, not we, right? Mueller be able to get them all, okay, to describe who they are and essentially either kick them out of the country or put them in prison, or at least so we should know. You know how, for example, they have those pedophile, sexual abuser, whatever you call it. Those there's I guess a database or something. The same way, we should know who these people are, and it should be public information. And then again, I said, will the elections 2018 be free of Russian influence? And then to 20. And because my sense here, and there's a question, the conspiracy is so large, how will Mueller manage to take them all out? Okay, right? It seems like it's a huge thing. So let's start first part. Will the next 2018 elections be Russian influence free? Sounds like I've shuffled already. Let me cut the cards, and then we'll find out. Okay, quickly here. Like I said, guys, I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna try to do this because I kind of like this. Just doing use the cards as a beginning. Okay, and then see. Okay, so all right. So let's start with this one. Okay, this is first card, birds. Birds has to do with trolls, right? It has to do with social media, Twitter and such. Okay, it's like talking. So the symbol of Twitter is talk. So bots and trolls. Okay, aggressive. So the bots and trolls are going to be aggressive. Oh, somebody's going to go to court. Really? No. No, 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 no. Not them. No. Let the trolls live. No. Anyway. Oh, and somebody was asking how it happens. There's two cards. You see this line? His name is Jonas. It's Mueller. It's supposed to be Mueller's line. Mueller's card has a lion. So whenever this card called Court, or the other one called the Good Man, the Good Gentleman, I think it's called, that has a lion, it comes out. So Mueller's gonna go after these bitches. Uh-huh. Oh. Oh. No. Interesting. This is a card of a man who's not listening to advice. Oh, really? Huh. Hmm. Hmm. Revealed as an enemy. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's gonna be people revealed as enemies. Related to the trolling guys, I think it's gonna be interesting. This is actually quite interesting. Not what I expect. Quiet, interesting. So this guys could mean two things: somebody in the background or somebody religious. Okay. The hidden people. I think it's more to do with the hidden people who are enemies. They're gonna go to court. They're related to to all the bots and trolls and the social media stuff, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna close my eyes because, so will the elections in 2018 be Russian interference free? I think it's hard to say completely free, but tell me if to what degree will they be free? So Mueller's preparing a giant case. 80 people are going to be indicted. Just on this alone, this whole thing of the actual election interference, not even the money. Anybody who's out there pushing the propaganda, all the people who have connected with WikiLeaks, and all of the people who touched the data, there's going to be indictments before. It's saying to me here, by September 12th, there'll be indictments, and it will be shock and awe type of indictments, a lot of people. So this will cause, just to change the game, because those people are going to, not only are they going to be out of business and their accounts will be frozen, but also they will be unable to continue their campaign and be afraid to do so. And it will happen at once, guys. So as to the question of the interference, it's showing here that this is a bit like it's like a block. It's giving me an image of Legos, okay, or this kids playing these blocks. The blocks are connected next to, like, side by side, almost as if this is a card, right? It's like 1, 2, 3. So in order for this one to get here, it has to go through. You know what I mean? It has to jump from one to the next. Okay, so essentially what that means is that all these little blocks are interconnected. So if these blocks are removed, it's much harder to pass on the information. And as I think they're passing on, it's almost like the information highway. It's showing me, guys, for example, an oil pipeline, similar. It's like this information pipeline where it goes from the Russians to the propaganda schemes and to the, so cutting those parts is going to make it much harder for them to operate. They're working in such ease because it hasn't been disrupted before, but it's going to be disrupted the minute these things drop. Okay, and the Justice Department and Mueller is making an effort to not make it all happen at once. Okay, so like I said, I believe by September 12th. So how I think they're going to be, it's just showing like a big bath of cold water on these people. It's going to be much harder, and I think their efforts are going to be, I feel like the FBI is saying here especially has been very on the down low about this, okay? And so once this all becomes public, they're going to be much, very aggressive. It's going to change completely. So this is how I think this happens. This is how I think they are unmasked. And I think there's still some attempts, but it's so much weaker. It's so, because they don't have the continuity, like I said. That's what I think. Okay, so what about these candidates? Are they still getting the money? I feel like even the money, guys, the money people will have been indicted. So it's going to be a very different thing. And all these candidates that got a lot of money, that feel very confident from the Russians, are going to be by November in a very poor and in a dire position, because also they counted on these dark money groups, and a lot of these dark money groups are going to be disrupted by. Anyway, guys, so I was clearly disrupted. So anyway, so just talking about this. Anyway, the networks, even the financial networks that supported these candidates, are going to be disrupted. So that's part of that. So, okay. So that's it. Now, I have this question. Are these people going to be outed? Okay, all the people that are in the U.S. working on behalf of the Russians, will they be outed by 2018? How do we know that these people are, because, right, the only way to prevent this, I think, not only just indicting and taking the money, but also exposing them. Will these people be exposed? Will we know who they are? Because if we don't, if we don't expose them, how do we know that they're not going to come back? Okay. All right. So here, let's see here. What do we have? A letter. Oh, you got a letter? Oh. Oh. Oh no, fake friend. Look, the amic upside down. Oh, your friend? No, you're not a friend. You got a letter. Little letter. Oh yeah, oh yeah. News. Oh, hello, hello. There's a news for you. Oh no, look. Oh, people not gonna be celebrating. Oh no, really? I'm so sad. Really? Oh, no. Stop. No. So, so guys, perfect cards, right? So the question is really, how can they're going to be identified. There's going to be news. There's going to be indictments because look at the card. There's like 3 cards related to news and indictments. So this is a little letter. Okay, look how it's very interesting. So the messenger delivers the letter, right? This will be 1, 2, and then 3. The letter is bad. It's bad news. Really? And it was, what is it about? Is the fake friend, the amica upside down. And those people are a little upset. They're not so happy anymore. Oh no, oh no. So guys, that's it. Now, I was going to say, of course, I changed the order of the cards. You know, regardless of the order, it's the same meaning pretty much. Okay. So I'm gonna close my eyes. So how are they going to be identified? It's the same here, exactly as you said before. You know, when you said the big number, exactly. They're all going to be massive numbers of indictments, and it's going to be public. So it has to be public. And Mueller is saying his plan is to really make it as public as possible. Okay, so that it's not, even if it's like, even if the person has something relatively minor, they have to be shamed. Okay, they have to be, the law there has to be information about them. So that's it now. Yeah. So the question here again and again about the Russian network. Will this Russian network in general, like I said, which is what we're talking about, like will they be exposed completely? I think it said yes, but let me just, since I asked a different question, will this like the Russian network, meaning the people who are working to accomplish all the best the outcomes that are being dictated by Putin, basically, will these people be exposed? Oh, trip to the country. Oh, really? Oh, oh, business. Look, the business people, their money. Oh, oh no, the house. My house, no, no, no. Oh, look. Oh yeah. Oh, lovers, they have a shady connections. No. Hello, Trump. This is Mueller. You think you're shady, huh? You think you're out there hiding? No. Let me tell you who is in the shade. I am. Oh, yes, I am. I am in the shade. And I'm watching your every move, dotard. So yeah, so guys, look. Yeah, I was like, we were watching your little trips, your business bullshit, your connections to the White House, your shady bullshit. What else? Oh, look, what else? We're here. Oh, Putin, guys, this is Putin. So this is high honors, but also Putin. I tend to see more and more this card is Putin. So the business people who provide money to the White House, connected to the White House, are also connected to Putin, and so they will be exposed. Close my eyes. So will the Russian network be exposed? Yes, it's the whole MO of money laundering is going to be exposed, and the money laundering happens when these so-called legitimate business people who have Russian origin and even American businessmen who do business with them were agreed to run a side business of money laundering. So this money laundering has in many ways gone to the White House campaign, and it's going to be exposed. So this whole thing is going to be, we're going to find out. Average people are going to know about this. Okay, so that's that, guys. That's clear. So this will this happen before the yes before the elections, up to how many? 12 weeks? No, 8 between up to 8 weeks, 2 months before. It seems kind of like very soon, but yeah, it seems like a lot, right? It has to be revealed, and they have a list of this that has to be revealed, fully revealed at one. And I feel like Mueller is only going to give this at the very end. Okay, so all right, so that's that. Okay. And then the last part of the question is, this conspiracy is so large, how will Mueller manage to take them all out? Okay, simple question. It's simple. Oh, look. Secret Life. Really? The country home. We live in a house, very nice in the country. Blur had a song. Real Blur. Live in a house, very big house in the country. In the country. Little louder. We we collected the information for about your private life. Oh yeah, we did. Oh yeah. Ooh, ooh, like right here in your heart. Oh yeah. Oh, are you worried? No, don't be worried. Don't be worried. No, no. Okay, so what else? Oh, negative money. Oh yeah. Oh. So interesting, guys. So privately, connections. So worried. What are worried? Worried about it? Interesting, guys. It's almost like this is a card of also values. Okay, heart could be the romantic stuff, but I feel like it's the value network. Okay, in some ways, I've said before. This is the financial. You know what this could be, guys? The shady money that has gone into the value. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. I'm getting it now, guys. So, you know, for example, how all these organizations that have these like the right wing ideology got the shady money. So this is the ideology is what connects and what attracts the money, and they are very worried at the center here. So let me close my eyes. This conspiracy is so large. How will Mueller manage to take them all out? First, they plant. You know, there's the people from these organizations. It's showing like a rotten something falling, like a rotten fruit, and the rotten fruit represents the people in these organizations that are guilty, right? Guilty in the sense of that are they have talked to Mueller, not just guilty, but have talked to Mueller. So these people fall first. They have to give the information, okay. And yeah, they are deep within these networks. It's showing the Jeff Sessions, the far right, the KKK, whatever. All these like it's showing the Heritage Foundation. A lot of these. Oh, it's showing also, guys. Sorry. Showing also that these these places are connecting, are being almost like, what is that? Magnetic connection. You know those magnetic imã in Portuguese. What is it called? Magnets. Yeah. So these places are magnets of this shady money, because it's showing that the Russians wanted to find the centers of ideology that they could funnel money into. So all the ideology places are looked into. Okay, so influential. So it would be the influence of money and the money looking for the influence networks. Doesn't make sense. So this is how. Okay, Mueller knows to find the people that are influential and make them talk. Because Mueller even says, like, he can find something that you've done that's shady. Okay. Well, I mean, I think they're all guilty in a way or another. This whole thing is very, very shady, guys. And I'm sensing, and I need to look into this more, that it has to do with the whole Citizens United thing. Okay, there's something there. Let me just ask now that I'm here. Oh, put it back. No. Is that right? Okay. Did I put it back? Yeah, here, this one doesn't put it back. No, okay. Yeah, no. So is Citizens United, I'm just putting the stuff back before I should put it back. Is Citizens United related to this? Because I somehow, like I said, you've seen the reading on David Boss, you know, those different readings that are connected. Is Citizens United somehow connected to this? Okay, some money. Okay. Alegria del Rapo. Yeah, you wanna. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, huh. News. Really? Important. Important news. Work. Key work of messaging. Key work of messaging. Let's see, I think it relates more to what I have just said than to the question. So, was Citizens United somehow fostered or fomented by this, or is this just a far right thing? What is the connection? It's showing the David Bossy guy and Bannon even, they had this anger. They wanted to make it happen. It was like a cocktail of possibilities. Okay, so they wanted to make this happen. They wanted to be able to influence. Put this. Yeah, it's showing, guys, the dark networks always existed, okay? And this was a way to legitimize them. Not just legitimize, but make their voices heard by essentially, you know, the dark money is nothing but a representation of the stuff that's always been hidden, but also making it, right? It's like this stuff like this. So how does it change? How does it connect? Yeah, I feel like the Russians understood the possibility of change through these people and seek them out from the beginning. They've been at it for a long time. Okay, not just the Russians, but the, you know, the Mannons of the world. So once this thing, I think it's, yeah. It's saying here, guys, honestly, I don't think that it necessarily has to do with the Russian stuff as of yet, but it's going to show that immediately after the ruling was enabled, that's what allowed this whole thing to happen. Okay. And for some reason, guys, I'm getting here Facebook is connected to this too, because Facebook did to election campaign, like to election ads, the same thing. It's like, well, you don't know what the election ad comes from. They don't want to take responsibility. It's somehow showing that this is sort of connected. The lack of laws or the lack of, what is it called? Regulation, right? So that's that. And the last question, and I feel like it's overextending a little bit, but by 2020, will the Russia not meddling, I think it's a light word, but interference in the election have been removed? If so, how? Vedova. So permanent losses, right? Financial losses, upside down, conclusion of a period of losses also, okay? Oh, pretty John, really? Conclusion of this dark period. A lot of people will have been put into prison. Oh, what ending? Really? Oh, really? Oh, yeah. The good lady will be there in public. So interesting. So the permanent, yeah, financial losses and prison, and it puts an ending to the Russian influence in society. Okay. Okay, so 2020, where are we going to be? Guys, I get the image right away, the image of, pulling teeth. Rotten teeth was pulled, and it was Trump. So once you pull the tooth, you find that all the dirt around it, okay? So that's pulling the tooth of Trump. Yeah, it will be very hard for the bacteria to grow after that, okay? Because it's showing, it's like I'm getting that like Trump is, it's not that Trump in a way is a symptom, right? It's like the thing that comes out is the only thing you can see. It's like the monster head. There's all this stuff underneath him. But I think pulling him enabled a lot of stuff to come out. You know, just is the only way that you could have looked into the bottom of it. And I think, how is that? Okay, so then, sorry guys, I feel like I have more questions. Okay, for the next stop, with the next the next reading, because I have to stop here, because then the question that I immediately go to is what happens to the Russian influence, right? It's like they're like in fashion because they pushed all these ultra right regimes to go forward. So what happens now? Okay, now that there's it's showing clearly that this is going to end, that there's going to be reckoning and all that, but what happens to the power of Russians, right? In the sense of like it's all, I think a lot of it is a PR because, and it's aggression. So what's going to happen to Crimea? What's going to happen to the power of Putin in a way, right? Because of the U.S. If as long as Trump is in power, we were not really doing much because that's what Trump works for Putin. So obviously he's going to help Putin, but what happens after? You know what I mean? So it's just very interesting. So I need to know the next step, the next reading after this is going to be about the future of like will Russia recede and because they're kind of I feel like they have enjoyed their moment in the sun. Hopefully it's gonna end soon, okay? Because they're manipulating the American government. And I also need to ask about the GOP. This is the other question that I have to ask. Okay, I have to go soon. I have to ask about the GOP, like how how many of them have been compromised and what's going to happen. So, all right, okay.